Many are sure that galactic diplomats decided to make an exception in the main tradition because they were afraid of people and want to reduce the number of contacts to a minimum. As a member of the first diplomatic mission to Earth, approx. The native planet of people, I want to clarify the situation a little. Yes, we are afraid. But no, we are not afraid of people. We are afraid of their technique. As you know, the main diplomatic tradition is that all authorized representatives get to the meeting place and back on the transport of the race hosting this meeting. In this way, diplomats show their trust in the host race, which, in turn, can demonstrate their hospitality much earlier than arriving on the planet. If any race uses this tradition as a trap to kidnap diplomats or do some other nasty thing, it will immediately demonstrate to the whole galaxy its disrespect for generally accepted rules, lose trust for a long time, and fall into diplomatic isolation. It seems that everyone benefits from this tradition. At least, that was the case before people overcame bureaucratic obstacles and joined the Union. Another tradition to demonstrate mutual trust is that new members of the Union host the next diplomatic meeting on their planet, and it does not matter whether on their home planet or on the colony. Here, the Union allows races to hide their home for security purposes. Humanity did not have colonies, and it was not too paranoid, so the next meeting was being prepared on Earth. Representatives of races, including me, reached the human ship, which was waiting in the geographical center of the Union, generally accepted neutral territory, so that the races would not argue for the right of the place from which the meeting depart. The ship itself did not have anything remarkable. The instruments noted hundreds of nuclear warheads in the holds, but we were warned that humanity loves to protect those for whom they are responsible, as well as that they love weapons based on radioactive decay very much. Even if they had bad plan, it would have been feasible without nuclear mining. It's time for departure. And so, what do you think? Which way of FTL travel do people choose? Perhaps this is a classic warp, or, if they are not very good at science, some other less stable subspace. Maybe they use a cocoon of black matter that practically removes friction with any quirks and allows them to quickly accelerate to superluminal speed, and then slow down due to gravitational maneuvers near the stars. Or how about a damn wormhole? We miss black holes in the galaxy so much, we need more of them. People claim that instant teleportation is much faster than warp and dark energy, which is partially true. But actually, to the surprise of people, not all races let to open black holes near their planets, wondering why. So it takes a very long time to move from the nearest neutral territory to the destination, and I want to see where they spend the remaining time advantage of a couple of hours. Clearly worth it, to fly through a black hole. By the way, speaking of moving from neutral territory to the desired planet, maybe at least here they use the warp, dark energy. Solar cells, after all. Of course not. Did you remember those nuclear warheads in the ship? It would be better if the humans used them for intimidation, because they drop atomic bombs into space behind them, where they need to gain speed without a wormhole, and then accelerate due to the blast wave concentrated in their direction. Hundreds of special directed nuclear explosions are required for adequate acceleration, but as far as I know, their main governments have thrown a party in honor of the fact that they can spit on all disarmament treaties and produce atomic weapons for civilian purposes, imperceptibly saving a certain percentage in military warehouses. Oh, I see you prayed very well, although you were atheist before that, and still managed to get to Earth's orbit without collapsing along the way, or exploding on a nuclear powder keg. Well, there is the usual anti-gravity in the atmosphere, and you can safely descend, right? Right? Humanity, for natural reasons, was left without natural resources for anti-gravity, so before the first contact, they were forgiven for having inefficient and dangerous aircraft. But now they can buy the necessary assets from almost any race of the Union, right? I even have information about such a deal. We set a very friendly price of 100 galactic credits per kilogram, but for some unknown reason, humans suddenly began to scold the very concept of anti-gravity, say something about their future colonies, where they would potentially be able to extract this natural resource decades later. They began trying to find signs of obsoleteness and poor quality of the resource, making a big deal out of a molehill. At the end of almost every sentence, unclear why, they said the number 60. In the end, we took pity and decided to reduce the price to as much as 90 credits per kilogram. May the anti-dumping regulation forgive us, and what do you think? Humans continue to scold our product, but now they said 70 at the end of every sentence. As you understand, the deal did not take place, so let me show the human transport for the atmosphere. I really hope that you will lose consciousness. By the way, this is only a fraction of a joke, because for their fighter jets, 10G is a very standard value, before you find out that the human atmospheric shuttles moves by burning freaking kerosene in liquid oxygen and throwing the results overboard at a tremendous speed, and it happens almost under your seats. You know, if you use jet propulsion for something other than point maneuvering, then why can't you just blow air for the pressure difference? Come on, it is humans. Well, as far as I can see, you're still alive and even haven't had a nervous breakdown. Well, it will end sometime. And when I say it will end, I don't mean that idiotic human modes of transport will end. I mean that your enthusiasm and optimism will end. What is the best way to get from the spaceport to the meeting place? It seems through the air again. Don't worry, no jet engines this time. It's just a piece of iron flying at the expense of knives that make a couple of hundred revolutions per second over its roof. If jet-powered transports often have wings, so in the accident you can safely plant to the ground, then here, in unforeseen circumstances, you will learn the human expression, flattened into a pancake. I wouldn't be surprised if humanity came up with types of individual flights. For example, put someone on a powder keg and undermine it, or else you can use the pieces of fabric to smoothly fall from behind like tree leaves during leaf fall. Hey, humans, these are all ideas for you. Wow, it seems that there is a strong crosswind now and helicopters are not flying. You are very lucky. Or not. Now you will have to use land transport. Well, there are already so many options to come up with something adequate. For example, electric motors. Although even here we can find a problem, because part of human energy is produced at nuclear power plants. And if you consider it safe to launch a neutron into heavy nuclei to destroy them, and release new neurons for a chain reaction, then I also attach photos of Chernobyl to this text. Returning to the topic, I represent dialogue of human as engineers. One said, let's make cars powered by electricity from wind turbines and solar panels on the roof. The second says, we can use hydrogen fuel. And the third says, let's use explosions of environmentally dirty fuel right in our engine, so that it pushes the pistons, and if it seems too boring, then you can put 4 such pistons side by side. And everyone in the room starts applauding him. Wow, you reached the meeting alive. Oh, you walked on foot? It's not a bad choice. I want to make you happy. People didn't come up with anything strange inside the buildings. Ordinary stairs, ordinary mechanical elevators, with emergency brakes, I'm surprised. Kidding. Meet the escalator. If people can't come up with a new dumb mode of transport, then they just combine the existing ones. This staircase, which is driven by an engine similar to an elevator engine, if you think it's safe, in comparison with the previous ones, then please. When you will get access to the human internet, enter the query, the escalator collapsed during rush hour, or a person was sucked into the escalator. Oh, and one more thing. After all, you all have to do the same path in reverse order. That is why we have allowed our diplomats to use the transport of their races for meetings that are held in the territories of humans. And you know what? Everyone likes it. The path I described has become a popular challenge of the extreme category among young people. Even humans are not offended. The reactions of aliens to turbulence during landing collect millions of views. Let them remain that way, because I don't want to hear anything about human engineering anymore. What do you mean, submarine?